it's Kenzie Knox and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we will be painting a seascape with some clouds, with the main focus on the clouds and maybe a little bit on the water later on. But for starters, we're going to start with our clouds. So you'll want a clean rag, that either a rag that you can trash or wash over and not care if it gets ruined, or you'll want some paper towels. Either or is fine. You'll also want to put down on your palette, we'll grab some cerulean blue. This is a typical sky color, so if you don't have this in your bottles of paint, then you might want to actually invest in some cerulean blue, because this is the color of the Pacific Ocean, just to let you know. You can also use ultramarine blue if you'd like, just for this practice, I guess, or you can use any other shade of blue that you want your sky to be. You're going to also grab some white, and if you're a beginner painter like me, it's nice to know that you're supposed to have twice the amount of white paint as you do your other paints, which I didn't know. So go ahead and put those down on your palette. Start in on the cerulean blue. So you're going to take your size, your largest brush you have. I'm actually going to take my 3/4 inch flat brush, and I love this brush. It comes to a peak when it gets wet, so you're going to wet your brush for this technique. And every time I say pick up color, I mean dip your brush in water, which means dip it in until you reach the ferrule, and then tap off the excess water on your towel, and then pick up your paint. And that will help the paint spread a lot better. And I can already tell that I'll probably need more cerulean, but we're going to pick up some white and mix that in with your cerulean blue to create a nice light sky color. And I want a very light color. Not too light, but light enough. So about baby blue. Baby blue will do, like right here. You can see that. And we're going to take that and start applying it across the top. And that is a beautiful light blue color. And our water line is going to be around the third of the canvas point. So you can just draw that straight across. And we're not going to change shade or anything going down, because I wanted to focus really more on the clouds. And when you're doing this, you can also spritz your canvas with some water, and that'll help your paint really slide. And watch out for those drips. Those can actually ruin your painting, especially if you have something down below going forward in the future. Just to let you know. And I have not primed my canvas or anything. Maybe I should have, but I didn't. I'm just taking that cerulean blue and white and mixing it in. And if you mix them separately and put them on the canvas, you can create some clouds already, or the indication of clouds if you'd like. Which for this practice might not be beneficial, or it might be, I'm not really sure. I'm following a tutorial online called How to Paint Clouds with Oil Paints. Now typically oil paints last a lot longer than acrylic paints. And I don't know why this one popped up, but it did. And it looked interesting, so I thought I'd give it a go, because I've watched acrylic tutorials and nothing has really helped me out with clouds. So once that is all set, I'm going to dry out my brush, or wash out my brush, I'm sorry, and dry off my canvas. So go ahead and grab your hair dryer, your heat gun, whatever you want. Typically, it's thought not to dry out your acrylic paints with heat gun, because it might damage your paint, but I find that it dries your paint a lot faster, especially when you're trying to paint something quickly like clouds and try to create a quick tutorial like today. So now we're going to take a very soft bristled brush. Now if it's too soft, like I took this brush, this is an eyeshadow makeup brush, and I've used other makeup brushes before, and this one is actually too soft and it just creates these blobs. So this is too soft. I'm going to try to use this sort of stippling brush, because it's the closest thing to a mop brush without being a mop brush. And I'm going to see if this one works. And we're going to use it dry, so do not get it wet. And so now we're going to start with, let's follow this tutorial. Oh, so we're going to create several different colors. So we're going to create a warm white. So grab, let's see. We're going to create this light pink color. So if you take a little bit of fuchsia, and a touch of, a touch of fuchsia, and then add some white to it. That will make our pink clouds. And I mean like a drop of fuchsia, not even a drop, and a chunk of white, so if that makes sense. And then we'll want to create some darker clouds. So create a few piles of white. I'm going to add black, a little bit of black, just black. This is jet black. I actually don't want jet black, I want black. Jet black is a very thick pigmented paint, and I don't want that much black. I just want just a little bit, just a little bit. And then we want clean white, and I don't know if we want...
with that mid-tone gray, and mix it in with the titanium white and portrait pink mix. My reasoning is that I want to take down the chroma of that portrait pink a bit.
Okay, so you're going to take your palette knife. Okay, so take your palette knife, and you're going to mix in just some of that pink with that white. Just get a pink, nice pink shade. Just a hue of it, just a hint of it. And then with the black, you're also going to pull that out. And you want to create the lightest of gray colors. So, I mean like a hair amount of black. You might have to add some more extra white to your palette. I went too dark, but that's okay. Because I kind of want mine to be dramatic. I need to know the separation. I'm horrible with clouds, and I'm hoping that this tutorial will help me as well as help anyone else who is struggling with clouds. And then you can take your palette knife and simply just wipe it off on a towel, making sure you get all the paint off. And if you don't get all the paint off on the first time and you forget to clean off, it will come off. So don't worry about that.
My goal is a suggestion of warmth because the sun is warm and there's obviously a lot of sun here.
Okay, so she's got 3 colors. So she's got her pink, her gray, and then one with a mix of pink and gray. So now I'm going to take a scoop of my pink, a scoop of my gray, and mix those two together to get a mid shade. So you want two colors. So you got the pink color, the gray color, and then the mid shade color, which is the mix of the two.
A bit later.
And then you have your white that is clean, and then your black. So the mid-tone gray.
Here I have selected a soft bristle brush, and I'm going to take some of the mid-tone gray and a tiny bit of the pale pink mix.
Okay.
I'm working in a soft circular motion to begin with, just sort of mapping out where I want the clouds.
And you can use a mop brush if you have a mop brush. I might use a mop brush. This brush is scaring me. You know what? I actually might use a soft bristled angular brush because it's very soft, and I'm not wetting my brush.
If you're doing this for keeps and not just as an exercise like I am, be sure to clean up that horizon line to make it perfectly straight. Using a bit of Scotch tape works really well to get that clean edge. Just stick the tape on your hands to get it a little bit less sticky. If you're working on artist paper like I am, the full stickiness will pull off some of your work. And if you're working on canvas though, it's not a problem. You can use tape just out of the dispenser. For your sky, also remember that sky gets lighter as it comes down to the horizon line. If you paint the whole thing one solid shade, you will lose the realism immediately, even if your clouds are amazing. Make sure to gradate that blue. As we start here, remember we're painting clouds. Clouds might remind you of giant cotton balls in the sky, but...
Okay, I'm going to pause her so that I can kind of recreate some of her shapes here. So she's creating some shapes down here, and I'm trying to scoop out the center because I know the center is supposed to be darker. But this paint is taking very well, so I'm going to wet my... Probably shouldn't have done that, but that's okay. Guess I could have just wet my paint a little. I'm going to spray my paint down. And again, this is just a very soft bristled brush, and I'm not wetting it. I'm just picking up paint and smushing the paint. And I don't know if this is the right way or wrong way, but I'm just following this tutorial and hoping that I get some sort of cloud, because I am struggling very badly with clouds lately, and always, actually, it's not just lately. And then this shape comes almost down like... And it's okay to leave some sky showing too, because clouds are just vapor in the sky. Okay, so now she's changed the
Now
color.
I'm going to paint the undersides of the
The
clouds.
underside with a darker color.
Clouds, like everything else in nature, are three-dimensional. In order to capture that dimension on a flat plane as we have here, you need to suggest both the front and the undersides. I have chosen to have my light source coming from the upper right here, which means that there is less light
I feel like I
hitting
need
the
more
lower
black
portion of
in
the
my
cloud.
darker
If you picture being directly underneath the cloud and tilting your head up to look at it,
clouds.
that's where the darker shades are going to go. This orients the cloud in the sky for the viewer. It's time to blend. I have selected a large blending brush. It has very fine bristles and is extremely soft. I've tried a few different varieties, but the one from Bob Ross is my go-to blender. Blending is my favorite part of painting clouds. When you blend, your job is to be the wind. If you think of your scene as a real place, your hand is guiding that wind and those little ice crystals are flowing exactly where you ask them to. Choose a direction and use a very light touch with the brush.
Oh, see, I don't know if we can do that with acrylics. I mean, we could try. So she's taking a blending brush and blending the whole thing. And I tried that once before and it ruined my entire painting. So I'm sticking with the underside is gray. I'm blending it out as I'm applying it. And I'm going to have to wash out my brush. I've got too much paint buildup in the bristles. I'll wipe it off. Try to dry it out on your rag if possible. And then go ahead and pick up more paint. And I'm going to add more black again to the gray. Just so that it shows up more. And up here, too. I'm trying to push it out while I'm painting it. Okay, and then let's continue.
Not really be picking up much paint on your blending brush at all. You're just feathering it out as the wind does to the clouds in nature. The one and only thing that I don't like about this brush, though, is that it often drops hairs. If someone out there knows of a similar brush that gives it bristles, please let me know. I've not found it yet.
I'm also going to paint
The
in
good
another
thing, though,
cloud, I
is that
think.
with this technique, your paint is so light that you can more or less brush the hairs off the canvas without issue. Now I'm going to suggest distance to the paint.
Listen, honey.
Thank you. Worked all day on it.
Will you pass the mashed potatoes, please?
Oh, sure.
There's an easier way to lower your electricity bill with Palmetto.
By painting clouds that are in the far distance. Remember though, yes, they are technically just below your bigger clouds on this flat plane, but in the context of your painting, they are miles and miles away from your large clouds. These clouds should be kept small and soft, and they should not have much detail happening in them at all. You wouldn't see detail on these clouds miles and miles off. You'd only see suggestions of shadows.
I don't know what color she picked up.
Below your The good thing though is that with this, I will say though, exactly duplicating clouds from a photo when you're a beginner to intermediate student is not easy. Don't try to replicate them because you might find it very discouraging. Use the photo as a base, maybe to help you find a nice placement of the clouds or a balance, rather than something you want to replicate entirely. If we can stay away from feelings of discouragement, all the better, right? Clouds should be fun, and you never see the same cloud twice in nature, so be as free with your abilities as the sky is with its clouds.
I almost feel better that it's like blue underneath. Huh, okay. So I'm just grabbing a little bit of blue on this soft bristles. Smudging it into
With this tutorial, I have chosen
gray
to go
areas.
for a middle-of-the-road type of cloud. It's visible against a blue sky, but it's not bold, puffy, and gleaming
Dark.
with highlights. The reason for
Almost adds another something to it.
When you're cogitating the scene you want to paint, remember that the cloud is an element just like any tree or person or animal. If you have a direct focus in mind, something you want to be the main element in your painting, like say a person or an animal, you might not want to guide the viewer's eye off of it by
I think I
making
did too
these
much blue
incredible
there.
bold clouds. You don't want to upstage the main focus of your painting. However, if you're painting something like a great tropical scene, a fabulous, bright, bold cloud might be a wonderful complement. Sometimes, if you have way too many other elements in a painting, you might want to omit the clouds entirely to keep your scene from becoming too busy.
I don't know when we add the pink in. That's supposed to be the... Well, this is the pink and white,
With these types of
which I'm
clouds that I'm
assuming.
painting, I like the suggestion of pleasantness, ease, and happiness they lend to a painting.
Just doing circles.
Always keep in mind what your intention is. Do you want something heavy and somber? Go for a dark cloud. Is your scene something hot and summery? Probably best not to have any clouds at all. Do you want the viewer to feel light and springtimey? A lighter cloud works well. Be specific about what you want people to feel.
So I know the underside of the cloud is supposed to be the dark side. I was always told to draw the darker line under the cloud and then roll it up into your cloud to create the shadow, which is the effect I'm trying to apply right now, but I think this one is too blue still. So I'm going to push out some of this blue, add the gray. Maybe some of the light pink behind it.
I should note that, as we all know, sometimes we catch some really strangely formed clouds in the sky. Some that you rarely ever see, or some that are generally pretty wild. Yes, you can paint those, of course, but realize that unless you're posting a photo of that wild cloud, the viewer might think you're just not very good at clouds. Totally unfair, I know, but if your aim is to sell a painting, it's a good thing to keep in mind.
Wondering if I should add pink. No, I'm trying to do simple clouds, nothing crazy here. Sometimes the clouds will just form by itself. It's just best to sometimes look through a camera and see your cloud. I think I'm happy with those clouds.
Alrighty, I think that's a wrap for this one.
Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, but if not, please leave your comments and suggestions below. I have had a terrible time with clouds, but I think I might understand how to do them better now. I know this is a weird layout for clouds, but I just wanted to challenge myself and see if I could do it, and I'm very happy with the outcome, so maybe I'll do a water tutorial next under a crashing wave or some sort, maybe some murky water. We'll see. But anywho, I hope you enjoyed my YouTube tutorial today on clouds, and I hope I did it quick and easy, and you followed along. So until next time, I'll see you guys later. Okay, bye.